Sandra here with Unmodern Living. Thanks so much for joining me tonight while I make up my spring planter. Now I know it's been a while, or my videos this winter have been really intermittent, and I've got to tell you, I've got a confession to make. I really wanted them to be better than what they are. So I struggled all winter. I tried to make a couple videos. I spent like 6 hours one day videotaping how I made donuts. And let me tell you, it was a process. It was painful. And then I wasn't super thrilled with how it went that day. So I put off editing it until I got around to editing. I had missed a part of the project and it was a mess. So I threw it out and I decided that if I was gonna do this, I need to be a little less worried about having different angles and everything all professional. So you know what, here we go. I'm just gonna make a video tonight. Not as many edits, not as fancy, and I'm just gonna be doing my thing. And if you wanna watch, awesome. If you want something that's super high-end production-wise, you're gonna have to find somebody else. So here I am. I'm gonna plant my spring planter tonight with some stuff that I've got, that I brought home from work. I work at a greenhouse, as I'm sure you all know. These are actually fake forsythias that I've collected for a few years now. I have, I get like 2 a year and I just stick them in my basement. So now I've got a whole collection. So I'm gonna reuse those. And I brought home some violas. It is today, I think I don't even know, what's the day today? March the 23rd, something like that. It's been a blur. The greenhouse has been so busy, it's kind of nuts. And I am going to just plant my violas up. It's supposed to get cold. So here's the thing, violas are pretty frost tolerant. They are, if we get the frost like they're indicating maybe next week, it might damage the blooms. They'll look a little sad, they'll look kind of limp and not so great, but they will bounce back and they will reflower, and I'm just willing to take the risk. I'm gonna set this pot on my porch, so it will have some protection anyways, so I'm just gonna give it a go. The other things I'm gonna put in my pot are some bulbs that were planted already and up that we had at the greenhouse, and this is the cool little addition. I have, in my possession, 6 Pep Top double peony tulips that have been sitting in a fridge most of the winter because we forgot to plant them last fall. Thank you to my daughter Rachel who bought them and forgot to plant them, because now I have them to plant in my spring planter. So I know these are gonna take a few weeks to get up and grow, but that's okay. By that time, these bulbs will be past and I'll still be able to enjoy my violas, because realistically, this porch is going to be on my pot is going to be on my porch for about 2 months before I can get rid of it and put my annuals out. So I'm going to get the most life and enjoyment out of my violas as I possibly can. Now this pot actually had my winter greens in it this winter, like my cedar branches and stuff. That was my outside winter pot. And I just yanked them out as soon as it was thawed enough to do that, because holy cow, it takes a long time for a pot of soil to thaw. Our big pots at the greenhouse, it's like they're still frozen solid. It's crazy. Anyway, so I pulled my branches out last week, threw them on the campfire pit, which, can you believe it's been warm enough some nights to have a campfire? And I'm just gonna fluff up that top layer of soil and start planting this stuff in. Now, I'm gonna probably put my big package of tulips in the middle of my pot. And I'm just gonna dig a hole. Now remember, I said I'm not gonna get too fancy, so I'm not gonna show you the angle of the pot. You're just gonna take my word for it. I'm basically digging out the cavern like you would put a 6-inch pot of flowers into. Okay, so if you can get a 6-inch pot like that, and probably about the same depth. It says on the package to plant them 4 inches apart and 6 inches deep. So I am just gonna take this little package. I'm gonna put them all in now. Tulips, I'm gonna show you these bulbs. Hold on a second, I'm gonna dump them out. Okay, so this is already starting to grow, so it's pretty easy to tell. It's pointed side up, and then the flat side goes down. And I'm just gonna arrange them in a circle, kind of in the middle of my pot here. No big deal. I have 6 of them, so I kind of put 5 around the outside, 1 in the middle. I'm just gonna cover them up with soil. And then I'm gonna plant the other stuff on top, and I'm not gonna worry about it. Those tulips will push up through. Really not concerned. We're just gonna give them some time. Now, my violas and my bulbs, how do I want this to work? So this pot sits against a wall, so it's gonna be one-sided. I think I'll probably put those 2 little 4-inch bulbs at the front and fill in my violas and then stick my forsythia in the center. So I'm gonna plant my daffodils and my hyacinth first. Oh my goodness, this hyacinth smells amazing. And today at the greenhouse, when we were watering them, they were like, the bees were just loving it, because there's not a lot out right now for bees, but there is some hyacinth. So I'm just literally popping them a little hole, popping them in. This guy smells so awesome. Just want to be gentle that I don't damage him. I'm gonna pop that little guy in there for a nice little bit of color. And then I'm gonna put my violas around. Now, I love violas. Pansies and violas are probably some of my favorite flowers. They're just so bright and cheerful this time of year when not much else can be outside. Now, I'm not gonna put the yellow next to the yellow. I'm gonna put that yellow in this back corner so I get just a bit of variety. I'll pop this pink guy out and put him in the center here. I probably have more flowers than I need. I have that habit. I bring home more flowers than I need. I know, shocking, right? Nobody's surprised. Especially not my husband. He always teases me that it's a good thing I don't work at the SPCA because we don't need any more pets. We love our Rosie, but she's good. Okay. So every time when you go to take a flower out of a cell pack at all, squish it. It gets it loose and helps you to get it out without damaging the roots. And then I just kind of pull it gently. You can pull the whole plant right off the top of the soil if you're too aggressive. So do pull out gently, because that's a sad day when you pull your top off of your plant. Now, if I'm gonna plant more flowers, I'm not planting those yellow ones because I got yellow here and yellow here. I'm gonna plant in some of these ones. This is probably one of my favorite viola faces. I'm gonna show you. See that blue and yellow one? I just love it. I will do a close up at the end so you can see what my planter looks like when it's done. And then if you follow me on Instagram, I will post updates of when my tulips come up, okay? Pretty simple to follow, Santa Regular. That's me. Okay, one more over here, just like that. And let's see what else I got. I like this orange and purple guy yet, I think. Orange and purple? Yeah, because I got purple and white, I got blue. I've got one of every color then. I'm not repeating it all. And I'll probably end up doing another one in another container. Okay, now my pot does have a bare spot in the soil in the center where my tulips are gonna grow. I'm just gonna leave that there. These violas are gonna fill in a little bit, and in the meantime, I'm gonna have my forsythia in the center to give me some nice height. And then as my tulips grow, I know they're gonna grow up and come up between these forsythia. Totally cool with me. I think it's gonna look great. Another thing people sometimes put in is pussy willow or curly willow, also fantastic. But there you go. There's my spring planter. So like I said, it's not too early to be planting your pansies and violas. If you're worried about frost, you certainly can bring it in. I'm not gonna bring this big container in primarily because it's crazy heavy once it gets full of soil. I put it on my pot and on my porch and then it's there. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed my little video. I'd love to hear your questions and comments, and I'm gonna look forward to making lots more that are a little bit simpler, but just fun to do. Thank you.